Thank you very much, Senator Blumenthal. Some are going to ask, in the face of such opposition from Republican leadership in the House and the Senate, why are you here today? Why are we determined to press ahead? Well, every great reform movement, every movement for justice has faced one of these moments when the political odds seemed stacked against you, whether it was the fight for suffrage or civil rights. And it's during these moments where you have to make a decision, whether you lay down or whether you continue to fight. But on this issue, there really is no historical parallel. When has Congress been this out of step with the will of the American public? When has 90% of the American public wanted Congress to do something to stem a crisis, to be met with absolute deafening silence from this body? Democracy doesn't allow for the United States Congress to be this out of step with the American public for too long. And so our commitment today is to go out and build a national movement at a scale that is unprecedented to make sure that the wishes of the 90% of Americans who want the things that are listed here get their wish. Things like mandatory expanded background checks, things like a ban on gun trafficking to make sure that people aren't walking into a store and buying guns just to sell them to criminals on the street hours later. And my belief is that if we continue to do nothing, then we are going to be sending an unintentional signal of quiet acquiescence to these murders. These young men whose minds are becoming unhinged, they're contemplating mass violence. They take cues from this total, complete, utter silence from Congress in the face of mass shooting after mass shooting. If the nation's top elected leaders aren't stepping up and condemning grievances being settled with a gun, if we aren't even having a debate on the floor of the Senate as to how we can go about correcting these episodes of mass slaughter, then people come to the conclusion that we must be okay with it. And that's what's so offensive, is that over the course of 2015, as these mass shootings have increased such that we have witnessed more than one per day, Congress has done nothing, not a single hearing in the United States Senate. And so that's what we're here today, to outline some broad principles, but to say that we are committed to taking this campaign to the streets of our states, of our communities. I left my my 7-year-old this morning as he headed to first grade. As he headed to first grade. 7-year-olds populating a classroom not unlike those that walked into a quiet school in Newtown, Connecticut. Kids in Oregon aren't safe, and kids in a small town in Connecticut aren't safe, then my son isn't safe either. This is personal for all of us, and it's why we are all committed to make sure that even during this moment of political obstacle on Capitol Hill, we don't lie down.